Focus. Okay. We are almost ready. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode with me, Kavita Agrawal. So, we are here to discuss stocks, and we will start with Nifty as usual. If you have questions, you're welcome to share them in the comments. So, we have some members who've joined us on Zoom. So, for Q&A, so we will take their questions on Zoom. Now, if you have stock queries that you want to ask me, then for stock queries, it's important that you sign up for the Zoom sessions. So for Q&A, the link that you will sign up for is expinvest.in/join. So this link right now is visible on my screen. Um, Okay, so you can see that on the screen and oh sorry, STP is expinvest.in/STP, and I should call this. Cool. So let's start with the session. I'm going to share my screen and we will start with taking a look at Nifty's analysis. So Anshul Sethia, I can see you've asked a stock query. You will have to join the Zoom link by signing up from expinvest.in/join. I will not be able to answer questions if you're asking in social media comments, because as per SEBI's requirement, I need to maintain record of who asked what and what I said. So I don't know who you are, so I cannot answer that question for you. But if you have questions related to uh, general stock market trading, that I'll be happy to answer for you. All right. So Nifty is open. Let's share our screen now. All right. So what is happening in Nifty's chart? So here we noted recently that there is a small positive divergence, but the broad conditions remain negative. Now, on the 75-minute chart, this green candle threw a lot of people off yesterday, and they thought that, oh, this because of expiry, the strong green candle has come, so maybe the market is bullish again. That is not how the market works. You can see that entire recovery that happened in the very last candle of the 75-minute time frame has been entirely retraced already, right? Today, in fact, because it was very evident that the jump that came wasn't sustainable, we booked early profits in one of the short-term trading positions that was active, which is Asian Paints. So in just, I'll show you the message that I sent. So in just a matter of 9 days, we've booked 5.4% profits with 8% allocation to the portfolio. This is just in 9 days. So this is what swing trading means, right? You buy low, you sell high, keep an eye out on the market conditions and don't, mess it up. So Satvik, okay. Satvik, you have already received the link. I have emailed the link to you few days back. You need to click the same. The link is the same for all Zoom meetings. You need to click the same link that you received earlier from me to join on Zoom. Okay, so Foodie Amit is asking what's my view on the current tariffs over market. See, how the current tariff will impact the market is really not difficult, really not easy to say, because a lot of competing factors go in there. What I can say with some level of definition is that based on the chart analysis, because see, out there every information that is there is already factored into the chart. So instead of looking at different pieces of information individually and trying to assess their individual impact on the market and then their cumulative impact on the market, it's better that I just look at the charts, and the charts are suggesting that short term the market is definitely weak. That's what I was talking about on Nifty's chart. You can see that Nifty here is resisting the RSI 25 period on the chart of Nifty is resisting the level of 60. So this is indicating, so resisting in the sense that it's been declining, it's declined below 40, it's going as low as 30, and it's barely touching the level of 60. So this is showing a negative range on RSI. This is indicative that the underlying weakness in momentum is still strong and we can expect more slide in the prices. 15-minute time frame is giving a clearer picture of the short-term conditions. So this dip that you saw took the RSI below the level of 30, which indicates strong bear trend at the moment. And then this rally that happened, this resisted the level of 60, and again the RSI declined. So the 15-minute RSI is also still bearish. So until and unless we don't see a higher high above the level of 24,950 and positive range shift in the 75-minute RSI and the 15-minute charts RSI, I will I will be very cautious in the market. So right now, my portfolio is only barely 50% invested. Of that, also I told you we just booked profits in Asian Paints. Most of the stocks that I see potential in, we have standing GTT orders. And as and when the market declines further, hopefully reaches its support, those stocks will also give a pullback to their ideal entry points. And that is where we'd prefer to create the position. Now, with respect to the short term plan itself, what I can see is I'm looking at the calls database that members have access to. We have right now only one stock idea which is actually active. Rest we have 6 stocks which are set GTT orders, which means members are expected to set up their GTT orders and wait for the prices to be triggered to get proper entries. Okay, so that's what. So if you want access to these 6 stocks and what are the potential entry levels, so you can also set them up. You can go to this link which is displayed on my screen, and you can use this Independence Day special discount code to avail, to reduce your cost. All right. So, Satvik, I hope you were able to find the Zoom link. Let me see whether you have joined or not. There it is. Okay, so I can see Bhuvaneshwar and Ash joined. Divyanshu has joined. Satvik has not yet joined. Satvik, I hope you found the Zoom link at least, even if you've not joined it. I can see there are some chats. Good. So there is a question on Zoom. We'll take that question. So Divyanshu is asking me to analyze Sky Gold. Sky Gold, I have not seen this stock before, and I can see it's a very small stock. Now, the thing about Sky Gold is that it had a very strong bull run, I would say up to this point. This is where it, you see, slightly breached the level of 40. And this is where it said that, okay, my uptrend is done. I don't want to go up anymore. So because here it violated the uptrend, it needed to go overbought and establish higher high here, right? So here you see it did one of the two things. It went overbought on the RSI 25 period of the daily chart, but it failed to create a higher high here, correct? And now you can see it has created a lower low. So the broad trend on Sky Gold is very negative. Daily chart is in negative range. The weekly chart also, for a long time after taking support at 60 has broken and come back below. So I think the weekly is also looking quite negative. And if you see here, there was a strong sell off after this resistance was taken, this doesn't look good for the stock at all. So I am quite bearish here. If you're holding the stock, I would suggest you book profits and or losses and get out, because it is currently at resistance and it's already going lower. Because it seems quite bearish to me, the Divyanshu. So I hope that helps. Um, let's see. Um, all right. So, by the way, this coupon code, this coupon code can be used across any services on my website. So I offer 4 services: long-term plan, short-term plan, advanced swing trade training program, and then all in one called the EXP Pro package. So you can use 15% off on any of those services. All right. So Vikram is saying, which one is this? Please use the chat, don't come off mute during this. Use the chat to put in your queries, please. Okay. So I will continue to look at some of my alerts while I get questions. So RBL Bank is a stock that we are holding, and right now it is showing good rally, but I think RBL Bank also has bullishness only for the short term. So this I have already worked with. Let's see what. Um, so SRF is crossing 40 on the daily chart. Now the thing is that SRF. Okay, let's see. So SRF was bullish here, and then it turned bearish for a while, and then again it turned bullish and stayed bullish for a while. Here, negative divergence, again it turned bearish, then gave some mixed signals, and then here it seems like it's again starting to turn a little bullish. But the question is it going to sustain? So we'll use the lower time frame chart to assess this. Uh, let's look at this. So there was a positive divergence at this point. So what is this point? So we will look at this point on the daily chart. This point is when the 75-minute time frame showed a positive divergence and the daily chart went overbought and turned positive, gave a massive breakout with good volumes. Cool. And then what is happening now? Now the thing is that on the 75-minute time frame, the chart's gone into negative range. And because of that, I will need to now wait for it to go back overbought and then maybe buy on a pullback. So right now, because the overall this overall sector is also not looking very attractive to me, I will refrain from any activity. So on Zoom, we have a question for the stock Avlo Tech. Bhuvneshwaran, can you confirm the spelling of the stock? Oh, Avlon Technologies. Okay. All right. So let's start with the weekly time frame analysis. And the stock is quite new, but during this time, it seems like it has maintained itself in a bullish momentum quite well. We can see, oh my God, we can see that there is this channel which has already formed on the stock, right? Now within this channel, if you want to draw some internal lines, I think this seems like one good internal line because of interactions, multiple interactions right here. And then coming to the daily time frame, I will again put this here because of these interactions, and I think it's working quite well. So the stock is on the upward trajectory and is at a resistance. If it can overcome this resistance, it would appear that it can continue the rally upward. Now, whether the momentum, this momentum that has started after this little bit of correction is strong enough or not, that can be assessed from the daily time frames RSI. So what are we looking at the RSI is this here it was in the negative range because it was resisting 60, and then it gave a signal of turnaround. It established a small higher high, retested the low, and then started the rally, picking up strong momentum at this point. This is also where it established a good higher high with good volumes. Awesome. So it gave multiple pullbacks to the breakout point, offering entry opportunities, and then rallied, created a negative divergence here. Now this negative divergence then took the stock back below the level of, so this is actually where the RSI support was. So this is where it turned negative, and then decline. Now here it gave the first signal of positive again, that it's going into the positive range, right? And then it came back, it declined a little bit. So it looks like the momentum is definitely strong and the volume pickup on the upside is also good. So I do expect that the stock will continue its rally upward. It's probably facing resistance from this trajectory line, trend line over here, and that's why it's given a dip. But if you closely look at the price action, the stock rarely does move in one line. It does swing around a lot. So as of this point, it looks like it has more steam to continue the uptrend. In fact, on the 75-minute time frame, it's recently gone overbought as well. So I would expect that the rally can continue here quite reliably. So here also it went overbought up to this point, and then it became negative, and you can see this is exactly where it went into correction, and now again it's gone overbought. So I think this temporary correction phase for the 75-minute time frame is also over, right? So 75 daily, weekly, all are looking bullish. We call this eclipsing, right? And then here, this I would expect this to be a conservative first target for the stock, because I don't have much area above, and because this stock only is quite new, it's hard to give a target above or out of this upward trending trajectory. But once this price comes closer, we can reassess and conclude whether it makes sense to extend the target. But for now, let's stick with that. And I think for the stop loss, yesterday's low would be a good stop loss, or maybe just a little bit lower at the 20 EMA would be a good potential stop loss. And I can already see the risk reward ratio is very favorable. So resistance, we can expect the stock to face some resistance at this trend line, which from this point, if we draw up vertically, is at the level of 1167. That's why it's a conservative target, because the target is not getting achieved today. The target is going to take some time to get achieved, which typically shifts the target up. But we are not doing that because we don't have any insight into this time. So what we will do is we'll stick with the most conservative target, 1172, and the stop loss, because the stock has corrected somewhat to its previous high over here. So typically this is itself a good accumulation point. So I think your timing of asking for the analysis of Avlon is pretty spot on, Bhuvaneshwaran. It looks really bullish, and it looks like now is a good time to add to position. For the short term, I would suggest you use a stop loss of 865. But since I know you are a long term trader or investor, for you, you shouldn't worry about this small stop loss. You should go for the larger stop loss of 788. Basically, if it comes down and breaks, actually, yeah, if it retraces this entire rally completely, then you need to be worried. Okay, so that's the analysis of Avlon. Next, we have Datamatics from again. So Datamatics first target. So Datamatics I had analyzed few weeks back, and this was the target which we had set in the live session itself. And you can see that target has already been achieved. So I'm going to now remove that, and I'm going to do fresh analysis again. So Let's clean the chart. Now, what do we see here? So strong underlying uptrend. Let's draw our trend lines on the weekly time frame. And in fact, this trend line trajectory has been crossed. It has been broken out of, which means that maybe we can take into consideration this little part over here. Um, Take a look at the volume. The volume pickup is very strong. The RSI on the weekly time frame is suggesting a very strong underlying bull trend. So weekly is bullish. Coming to the daily time frame, again, extremely bullish. I would definitely expect this rally to continue over here because the RSI is very overbought, and historically also, if you see, the stock has a tendency to give this extremely bullish move, and then because of the strong momentum, it kind of keeps rolling forward despite momentum slowdown. So that's great. And so I would expect, because the momentum right now is so strong, I would expect that this rally that has unfolded so far, 74% in 66 days, I would expect it to get doubled. So from this point, I would expect the rally to go another about, say, 70, 50, 60, 70%. I think let's take 60% here based on the trajectory. I can see there is trend line up there, but still I want to be more conservative here. And from the stop loss perspective, I think if it breaks below the 20 EMA, that should be a warning sign. Now, as you can see, the absolute stop loss is quite high here. So the risk is quite high. So at any point of time, the total allocation in the stock should not exceed 3% of your total capital. Okay. So when your absolute risk is very high, you need to reduce the risk to your capital by managing your allocation to the particular stock. That is a good time to deviate from your market cap based allocation to stocks. So absolute risk matters a lot. So here we still have a risk reward ratio of 4.78, right? So that's about Datamatics for you. Um, all right, so we are done with those questions. Now I see there's a comment. Um, okay, let's see on Instagram. Are there any questions about trading, swing trading, market psychology, trading practices? Sparsh has asked a question, but it's a stock query. So, Sparsh, I will kindly remind you to please use the expinvest.in/join link. All right. So, let's take another question from Zoom participant, KIMS. Now, KIMS is showing, okay, yeah, this is the energy one. KIMS is showing a strong, not a, okay, this was a strong negative. Okay, this needs to be corrected. So it showed a strong negative divergence here, but then it already took a massive dip. And like clockwork, again took support of the 250 EMA like it has been doing multiple times, and started to rally again and established the bull range once more. So this is the level of support for the RSI, a concept that I will discuss in my advanced swing trade training class this weekend. Uh, so here, see this, there is this strong uptrend. Now let's use the weekly time frame to draw our trend line here. Clearly the stock is in upward trending channel, bit of an accelerated channel, in fact, I would say. So the stock is definitely in an upward channel, and the historical price action suggests that it has more room to explore. There is a weak negative divergence on the weekly time frame, but mm, and I but I wouldn't make much of this. I think this can just be like a small correction. I wouldn't pay any attention to this. This is a pretty weak divergence because the volume profile is also very supportive of continued bullishness. You can see that when the price is going up, the volume is also picking up. So I like that. And currently in the short term, the stock is in some correction with high volumes, right? So we can expect that in the short term, the stock can continue to decline a little bit. But how far will it decline, we don't know. But one indication that the stock is giving is that in intermittent corrections, it has a tendency to retest the 100 EMA. So it is possible that it will retest the 100 EMA and bounce back. And should that happen, it will also respect this previous high. Why is this high significant? Because, see, this was the peak of this entire rally before the correction. So, this is a very significant peak. When we study charts, it's important to analyze or identify important peaks and important bottoms. If you don't know, then you will constantly get swayed by all other peaks that are there, and you will not know which one to pay attention to, because you can see they are all pretty close by. The only one peak in this entire rally, there's only one true peak, and that is this peak, right? So you can see price is also pulling back here. So I think this would potentially be a good entry point. So this is a potential entry. So I would suggest you wait out for 780, sorry, 680 as a potential entry for this stock. No. Okay, and then what about the stop loss? So let's see. Okay, I need to clean the charts a little bit. Yeah. Um, so, okay, so on the daily time frame, it's very clear the stop loss has to be below this previous low, technically from trend perspective. But because we've identified the trend line and the fact that 100 EMA is a pretty strong support. So from a long-term perspective, if you're interested in the stock, then this is the stop loss that you should maintain, right? With a potential long-term target that can take the stock towards its upward trajectory. For someone who's interested, who might be interested in this for the short term, you can actually maintain a smaller, once this gets triggered, you can actually maintain a slightly smaller stop loss, but I'm not able to identify that stop loss just yet. I would keep it this, but I think it's too aggressive. So I would wait for this a lot to get triggered and for confirmation that the price is really bottoming out. And then whatever low it creates at that time, I would keep that low as my potential stop loss in the stock. I hope that helps. Okay. With that, we've reached time. I can see Yash has also asked a question on YouTube, but unfortunately, it's a stock query. So I will just remind you guys that if you want to ask Q&A, if you want to ask questions and want me to answer those stock-related questions, please sign up at expinvest.in/join, right? And before I go, I would like to invite you to join my Telegram channel. Just search Trade with Kavita or open this link in your browser, t.me/trade with Kavita. When you join my Telegram channel, you get summary notes on the stocks that we discussed in these sessions. You get notification of when I'm about to come live, which is typically on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays at 10:30 a.m. You get heads up about campaigns. Sometimes I'll also do flash campaigns on my services. You can avail those. And you also get regular market updates about what I'm thinking. Because, see, these live updates are 3 times a week, but in the group, I might give updates every day, sometimes even multiple times a day. So it's might be advantageous for you to stay in the loop of that, especially if you appreciate the analysis that I do. So there is a question on YouTube. What indicators do you use? You will laugh. I use the simplest indicators out there, and I have honestly come full circle. I started off with RSI and moving averages and volumes. I hopped to many indicators, and I read many books, and I tried many different things. And it so turns out that these indicators work the best for me. They give me the most consistent results. They make my life very easy, and they make my portfolio great. So I use three moving averages, exponential moving averages on the daily time frames calculation: the 20 EMA, the 100 EMA, and the 250 EMA. I use volumes, but instead of raw volumes, I compare the 20-day average of the volumes with the 100 days average of the volume. And I use the MACD histogram bars to visualize it. And RSI, I use 25 period RSI for all time frames. My time frames are designed in a fractal manner based on the factor of 5, 75 minute, 15 minute, 75-minute daily and weekly. I don't use a 15-minute very actively, but I do sometimes refer to it when I'm closer to taking an execution, and especially for analyzing Nifty, I would say. Everything in my chart is color coded. I use a 4 layer or a 3 chart layout, one chart each for each time frame. I don't swap around the time frame on simple charts. So all these techniques are taught in my advanced swing trade training program. So if you want to learn swing trading technical analysis from me, I suggest you go to my website expinvest.in and you check it out. So I'm just going to put it on the screen for you. So just go to expinvest.in, and it's a one pager website. You'll be able to see everything that I do about me, my journey, how I gathered 15 years of experience in the market, my SEBI registration, everything is there. Take a look, check it out, and maybe you'll find something that's beneficial to you. All right. So, with that, thank you again, everyone, for joining in. Stay tuned. I will be back with live session on Monday at 10:30 a.m. I will talk to you guys then. And if you want to be part of the Q&A, then don't forget to sign up on this link. With that, I take your leave. Thank you so much. See you guys on Monday. Namaste.